The second half of the geographic grid is, of course, longitude. Longitude measures distance east and west of the prime meridian. I recognize that you probably know the equator and the north and south poles. Maybe you have not heard of the prime meridian. Well, now you have. It indicates how far east or west a given point is, and it's measured in degrees from 0 to 180. That is the way we define longitude. But notice, once again, 180 degrees, 0 degrees. This is in degrees, which indicates angles, angular distance, in other words. This is, again, a system of limited counting. You can count from 0 to 180. 180 is twice 90, so it's more than you can count with latitude, but there is no 181 or 1,181. 0 to 180, that's it. Again, if you have a system of counting, where do you start? At 0. So let's do that. Now you can see I have the same diagram of the Earth that I drew, but I have a line that's going up and down. So it's cutting perpendicular across what would have been the equator on there, right? And I have designated that as 0 degrees. This is going to be the starting place for counting with longitude. And the name of that starting place is the prime meridian. The prime meridian gets a designation of 0 degrees in longitude, just like in latitude, the equator gets a designation of 0 degrees. So we have the prime meridian as being the starting place in longitude for our counting system, and we give it the designation of 0 degrees. Everything to the east of the prime meridian, indicated by the red arrow, is in what's known as the eastern hemisphere, or the eastern half. And everything west of the prime meridian, indicated by the bronze arrow, is in the western hemisphere, or the western half. Take a look at this map of the Earth. Now you can see the equator is on there with the red line, but now we also have this green line that indicates the prime meridian cutting at a right angle across, a perpendicular angle across the equator. And you can see that the black arrow is indicating there's the prime meridian. Its designation is 0 degrees. So this is where we start counting. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on until we reach 180. And again, if you look, the red arrows are indicating this. Everything east of the prime meridian is in the eastern hemisphere. And then the bronze arrows are indicating that everything west of the prime meridian would be in the western hemisphere. So you can already probably see what's happening. Every place on Earth has to be in at least 2 hemispheres. So let's practice latitude and longitude. We always give the latitudinal hemisphere first, and then we give the longitudinal hemisphere second. So the designations are always latitude first, longitude second. It is never, ever longitude first, latitude second. Never. So we are not going to do, for example, this. No place is 30 degrees east and 78 degrees west. That, by the way, is the general designation of the way we write things. Okay, there's going to be a comma in between the latitudinal and longitudinal hemispheres. However, this is incorrect because east represents longitude, north represents latitude. It can never be that way. It would be written like this. 78 degrees north, that's the latitudinal hemisphere. 30 degrees east, that's the longitudinal hemisphere. And it is, again, written like that. 78 degree symbol, capital N period, indicating 78 degrees in the northern hemisphere, so 78 degrees away from the equator. And then comma, 30 degrees east, written 30 degree symbol, capital E, indicating eastern hemisphere, period, meaning that it is 30 degrees away from the prime meridian. Los Angeles, by the way, is at 34 degrees north, 118 degrees west. That's the major city in California and on the West Coast and in Southern California. Well, somebody's horn is going off. Maybe you can hear that. Let's practice, shall we? I want you to give me both the latitudinal and the longitudinal hemispheres of these places we already met. The United States. What are the 2 hemispheres the United States resides in? Well, the northern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. Very good. What about Argentina? Argentina is in the southern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. What about Iran? Iran is in the northern hemisphere, and the eastern hemisphere, do you remember what the other country was? Botswana. Botswana is in the southern hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. Very good. So here's the prime meridian, but of course there are lots of other lines of longitude, just like with latitude, there's lots of lines of latitude. I just put some of these other lines of longitude on. Now, lines of longitude and lines of latitude, these are fine terms, but the technical scientific term for line of latitude is parallel, so we also have a technical scientific name for lines of longitude, and that name is meridians. Meridians are half circles drawn from pole to pole that connect points of equal longitude.